Thanks for tuning back in, DC Phantom, and as many of you saw a few days ago, we were able to near definitively demonstrate through evidence and analysis that apart from being a chronically online liar who makes content for 14-year-old edgelords, that James Gunn is a racist PDF file. Most of you here saw the last video, hopefully, but man, was it a true privilege for Resikin and I to be the first and only YouTubers to document all of this information into one YouTube video, instead of it being a thing that you have to dig far into the internet for, as WB pays various companies like Google and Rotten Tomatoes to bury this information to stop it from being shown as any of the first few results if you don't know what you're looking for when trying to investigate the many inappropriate scenarios Gunn was involved with. Other than, of course, the old tweets, which, as we showed in our video, was only a fraction of the reality of the situation. Since the release of the video, we had many reach out to us with more information that we did not cover on James Gunn, some of which being from people who knew the man personally before he made it big in Hollywood. Whether we make a follow-up remaster video using the new info or not remains to be seen, but all this shows is that we might have only cracked the surface of this sinister situation even now. But man, to cook so hard that we had our video taken down from YouTube completely before 10 hours of upload had even passed, with the video soaring past 4K views in that time frame, despite my small channel size and a regular upload schedule, is really a testament to how much people want to know more about this situation and underscored its importance to the point where it had to be censored to protect Gunn. We don't know for certain what it was that got the video taken down, but it was likely a mass reporting from gun monkeys. Some even thought that it might have been the WB PR team, and while that is a possibility, it probably wouldn't have been put back up at all had that been the case. But even though it was put back up around 10 in the morning, the catch was that it was now age restricted, despite the plethora of content on similar matters online, which are not age restricted. What this meant was that our video was no longer being recommended or pushed by the algorithm, effectively making it now an unlisted video. But even then, it was thanks to you guys through your support and sharing that despite slowing down significantly in number of views, that it still managed to trickle past 5K views. And to think that this was all from us merely repeating what James Gunn did, which says enough about Gunn. But the fact that the video went on to get views despite the gutted potential still says a lot and is something to be grateful for. And we really have to thank the gigachads of Twitter for locking in and sharing and retweeting the video to the point where tweets involving this video were getting up to 90k views, including me straight up subscribing to X Premium just to upload the video there in case the video didn't get put back up on YouTube. I know people think of Twitter as a place for degen losers, which can be true, but the other half are full of like-minded, mature individuals who aren't like most of the morally degenerate people found on YouTube, such as all those YouTubers I already mentioned, along with their bots in the comments. I have to say, the amount of people defending or downplaying Gunn's cases by calling his things just jokes alone were absolutely disgusting, and really goes to show the worst of how far kiss-ass consumerism can go. To be so desperate to defend your director of corny, immature popcorn flick movies that have never done good for DC to the point where you're willing to look past one of the worst track records of any celebrity with very few rivals that are currently in Hollywood is actually quite pathetic. I don't want to get this video age restricted again by repeating any of it, but most of you should know by now that what he did was a lot more than just tweets, and if you keep insisting that all it was were just tweets, then you're really just outing yourself as a deliberately spiteful, ignorant NPC that didn't watch our video, as we predicted would be the case for most of our opposition. As said in the last video, if you decide to separate the art from the artist for James Gunn of all people, then you have no right going after any celebrity or even YouTuber at that point without being a laughable hypocrite. But sadly, they are people who are just that. Hypocrites. Blatant hypocrites. Beyond comments of gun monkeys, I didn't really lie when I said that I don't really watch the response videos other YouTubers give me 90% of the time, such as a 5-hour stream made out of 28 minutes of 2 of my videos. Like, get a job. How the hell were these people calling me an unemployed, drama-seeking man-child when they had the time to do that? Snyder's Justice League was too long in their eyes, but they have an extra 5 hours to gossip more than women on one of those housewife reality TV shows. But anyway, I tend to just go off of the scouted information my trusted YouTube and Discord server lieutenants give me, and man, to hear that Gunn's behavior was still defended or downplayed by these YouTubers is absolutely disgusting, but As said in the video, I guess these people have to stick to their guns and die on the same hill as their cult leader.
Digging up old tweets. Digging up old tweets. Digging up old tweets. Oh, and did I mention that all we did was dig up old tweets? 2 months of research, days of editing and providing screenshots, articles, and pictures, but apparently all that we did was dig up old tweets. At least that's what the gun monkeys, with their overwhelming negative response to this video, had to say. That all we did was unearth ancient tweets, and that since he already apologized after having been called out, that we should just all get over it. Sure, I mean, if that was actually all that we did, then they might have very well had a point. But that's the thing, they don't. As a matter of fact, the entire reason we made this video in the first place is because most people are completely uninformed on the matter. They genuinely think it was just some tweets, not like these people who know the truth but pretend not to know it. As if it was some edgy Twitter era that he had back in the 80s or 90s before Twitter was even a thing, and nothing more than that. But nah, that ain't it. So yeah, that's what spurred this video in the first place, because while I did have it brewing in my mind for a long time even before he invaded DC, it was this recent wave of overwhelming dumb love for him that gave me the push to make this. I mean, it's honestly getting ridiculous. It can't be just me who feels like we're living in a country where every billboard is propaganda for the glorious leader. Except in this case, it's a hotshot Hollywood director who everyone pretends doesn't have a very dark and sinister history. I mean, let's be real, I ain't never seen this kind of glazing even with directors like Nolan or hell Martin Scorsese for such praise to be given to Mr. PDF parties. Is this video a victory lap? Yeah, kinda. Because almost everything that me and Joker predicted would happen in response to this video did. Apparently all they could take away from it is that
we're making him guilty by association.
When in the video itself we make it explicitly clear that there's a major difference between merely knowing someone who happened to do or have done messed up things and frequently engaging and enabling that kind of behavior itself that they specifically get in trouble for, even if you do try and pass it off as a joke. It's like all those people who make racist or violent remarks online and then go, "Oh, I was just being ironic," only for one of the extremists in that club they belong to actually go out and commit a hate crime. Oh, so you were just being ironic when you called for people's deaths? Miss me with that bullshit. Now, yeah, there have been a handful of response videos to our work. Of the few that I did see, I did skim some of them, and just like the gun monkeys that got sent to our comment section in the first place, they're all parroting the same shallow talking points. But honestly, I think there is at least a little value in responding, because this guy over here, who's in our server by the way, actually broke down SK's video rather meticulously, deconstructing his entire arguments or lack thereof, and when you look at SK's response, I mean even just by skimming.
While I never excused the behavior, at most I question the evidence you were using for specific claims, as I haven't fully dived into the situation.
Dude straight up did not look into the issue before making an entire video dedicated to it. Like yikes, he ain't never been the response slop allegations, churning out content like it's sheep poop on a farm. Even that adds like nutritional qualities or whatever to the soil. His content benefits nobody, not even dirt. Meanwhile, we've always had to move carefully when making our videos by researching carefully before we release them. Not just to protect ourselves, but to protect our badass audience who trust us. So yeah, response videos aren't really our thing normally. We do have a couple, but they're only ever response videos to response videos. I mean, Joker has one where he responds to ranting for vengeance, but that's because like his takes were particularly bad about a show, The Penguin, which we particularly liked. So yeah, even though the Supreme Intelligence restaurant is indeed gourmet, and we would rather not serve McDonald's slop content in the form of response videos, I guess that every now and then, even I could go for a cheeseburger. So, all that being said, I did manage to convince Joker that if y'all smash that like button and we get past 100 likes, then we'll respond to these clowns, which I think could be pretty entertaining. Whether it be the sheep poop content guy or Unk with the clickbait thumbnails pulled straight out of the early 2010s that make ours look like Canvas school modules in comparison. And hey, if we get fired from our day jobs next week, maybe we'll even do a couple of those 20-hour live streams you guys seem to like. You know, like that one British guy who makes Sonic content for children. Speaking of, he should probably stick to that considering how much he's embarrassed himself lately trying to make everything about him. Or, at the very least, stay in his cave. So yeah, that's all I've got for now, because as far as we're concerned, we thought we buried them with the last video. But they pulled an Undertaker. So now, it's time to F5 them into the ground, and make sure they don't get back up this time.
It's honestly quite sad that they had to deflect and try to call us of all people PDF files over drawings sent by someone else outside of our server and not sent or officially endorsed by us at any point beyond us just stating we don't care about them in terms of the objective legal definition of what counts as being a PDF file. I know they'll lose their mind over me saying this, but that's just the fact of the matter. If you tell a cop about a fictional lewd drawing of the character Gwen Stacy, any cop won't or can't do anything about it whether one finds it weird or not. It's honestly a convo that Resikin and I never really wanted to have until they randomly threw it at us because they just don't like the things we say in our superhero videos. If you told the authorities about a PDF file themed party that would have kids at it with adults like Gunn and his friends present, the cop would actually look into it or even shut it down, especially if it happened in the current day. But whatever, that's likely the last of what these shill slop YouTubers are getting from me in terms of me entertaining their childish nonsense, regardless of them wanting to argue with court cases Gunn has been involved with and the laws that define what actually falls under the definition of being a predator. Resikin and I are not wasting our hard work time attending a stream of theirs that will average out at 3 or more hours as they deliberately behave like snakes and try to set people up to make them look bad as they say nothing about Gunn despite having multiple videos on Gunn. Resikin and I go between working or being in school 5 days a week and we don't have time for this chronically online nonsense that no working class adult takes seriously, as stated multiple times. Regardless of SK and Gollum Grift having bigger channels due to childish response video content, you can clearly see the difference in maturity when it comes to the average comments. Our negative comments generally come from misled children that you could see from a mile away with the profile pictures and lack of meaningful articulation as they copy what their YouTubers told them on a dang near word for word basis, as opposed to the ones on our side who articulate themselves properly, as Resikin showed off in this video. It partially makes me glad that the video got an age restriction so that those type of cope comments were less likely to happen. But anyway, I would love to thank the Giga Chats on Twitter for mass sharing this and carrying it through an age restriction. A lot of them were fellow Snyder fans, which goes to show that people are what they eat. Junk James Gunn fiction with orgies is more likely to produce junk depraved minds who defend Gunn's behavior, while a Snyder, Sam Raimi, or Christopher Nolan fan is far more likely to have good moral principles and consistency. Thanks for watching this brief closure that will hopefully keep the truth going, as the video won't be age restricted like the last one, hopefully. We couldn't really risk re-uploading the Gunn Exposed video as we would have lost all of our great well-articulated comments as well. Videos are in the end screen, whether it be the James Gunn video or the other video addressing these loser low integrity Spider-Man channels that we refuse to entertain again. We'll see you on the next DC video. Thanks for watching.